Thinking strategically about a company's external situation involves probing for answers to the following 7 questions. Number 1. What are the industry's dominant economic traits? This is the first point. Industries differ strategically on such factors as market size and growth rate, the geographic scope of competitive rivalry, the number and relative sizes of both buyers and sellers, ease of entry and exit, whether sellers are vertically integrated, how fast basic technology is changing, the extent of scale economies and experience curve effects, whether the products of rival sellers are standardized or differentiated, and overall profitability. An industry's economic characteristics are important because of the implications they have for crafting strategy. Number 2. What is competition like and how strong are each of the 5 competitive forces? The strength of competition is a composite of 5 forces. That is, the rivalry among competing sellers, the presence of attractive substitutes, the potential for new entry, the leverage major suppliers have, and the bargaining power of customers. The task of competition analysis is to understand the competitive pressures associated with each force, determine whether these pressures add up to a strong or weak competitive force in the marketplace, and then think strategically about what sort of competitive strategy, given the rules of competition in the industry, the company will need to employ to A. Insulate the firm as much as possible from the 5 competitive forces, B. Influence the industry's competitive rules in the company's favor, and C. Gain a competitive advantage. Now we move on to number 3. What are the drivers of change in the industry and what impact will they have? Industry and competitive conditions change because forces are in motion that create incentives or pressures for change. The most common driving forces are changes in the long-term industry growth rate, changes in buyer composition, product innovation, entry or exit of major firms, globalization, changes in cost and efficiency, changing buyer preferences for standardized versus differentiated products or services, regulatory influences and government policy changes, changing societal and lifestyle factors, and reduction in uncertainty and business risk. Sound analysis of driving forces and their implications for the industry is a prerequisite to sound strategy making. Number 4. Which companies are in the strongest or weakest competitive positions? Strategic group mapping is a valuable, if not necessary, tool for understanding the similarities, differences, strengths and weaknesses inherent in the market positions of rival companies. Rivals in the same or nearby strategic group are close competitors, whereas companies in distant strategic groups usually pose little or no immediate threat. Now, number 5. What strategic moves are rivals likely to make next? This analytical step involves identifying competitors' strategies, deciding which rivals are likely to be strong contenders and which weak contenders, evaluating their competitive options, and predicting what moves they are likely to make next. Scouting competitors well enough to anticipate their actions helps, perhaps it helps make effective counter moves and allows managers to take rivals' probable actions into account in designing their own company's best choice of action. Managers who fail to study competitors closely risk being blindsided by surprise actions on the part of rivals. A company can't expect to outmaneuver its rivals without monitoring their actions and anticipating what moves they may make next. Now, number 7. Now, the next point. What key factors will determine competitive success or failure? Key success factors are the particular strategy elements, product attributes, competitive capabilities, and business outcomes that spell the difference between profit and loss, and ultimately between competitive success or failures. Key success factors point to the things all firms in an industry must be competent at doing or must concentrate on achieving in order to be competitively and financially successful. They are in fact the prerequisites for good performance in the industry. Frequently, a company can gain sustainable competitive advantage by training its strategy on industries, key success factors, and devoting its energies to being distinctively better than rivals at succeeding on those factors. Companies that only dimly perceive what factors are truly crucial to long-term competitive success are less likely to have winning strategies. Now, the final point. Is the industry attractive, and what are its prospects for above average profitability? The answer to this question is a major driver of company strategy. An assessment that the industry and the competitive environment is fundamentally attractive typically suggests employing a strategy calculated to build a strong competitive position in the business, expanding sales efforts, and investing in additional facilities and capabilities as needed. Good industry and competitive analysis is a prerequisite to good strategy making. A completely done industry and competitive analysis provides the understanding of a company's micro environment needed for shrewdly matching strategy to the company's external situation. My website is up and running. Log on to www.asifjmeer.com and have a look. I also invite you to visit my blog at asifjmeer.wordpress.com to have a look on a wealth of knowledgeable data, including the topic. God bless you.